Hello, welcome. Today's topic is, why do I need more insulin? Oh no, is something going wrong? Why suddenly do I need like 30% or 50% more insulin than usual? What's going on? It used to be that mostly my blood sugar was okay, but now I do an insulin bolus for lunch or dinner and my blood sugar goes way up high, or I just don't do anything. I'm not eating, I'm sleeping overnight, and I wake up and my blood sugar is high. And this used to not be a problem, but now it is. So why do I need more insulin? Is there something going on, something wrong with my body? It's a really big concern. I use an insulin pump. This is a topic for anybody who needs to use external insulin. If you have diabetes, whether it's an insulin pump, an insulin pen, an insulin injection, insulin needs change all of the time. And putting together this video, I have thought about 10 different reasons. And there's really probably more than that. I had a debate. Is that 11 reasons, 12 reasons? Anyway, 10 reasons why you might need more insulin. Let's go through them. I really hope this helps you out. So number one is there's some sort of issue with your diabetes tech. Now, most of the reasons I'm going to talk about here have nothing to do with your diabetes tech not working right. But let's just talk about this thing because it does happen. It's possible if you use an insulin pump that your infusion set came out, or maybe the cat bit your tubing. Apparently, if you have a cat, cats like to bite tubing, and then all of a sudden your insulin isn't going into your body, it's spilling out. Now, hopefully you're familiar with the smell of insulin. It smells like sort of like a petroleum smell. That's due to the preservatives. If you're not familiar, get familiar with what it smells like so you can sense that, oh, I'm smelling insulin. That means probably the insulin's not going in your body, right? And then you can get a bent cannula, just like shown in this picture here. A bent cannula is that little tiny piece of plastic that goes under your skin, and when you insert a new infusion set, it can bend and kink, and then the insulin does not get delivered correctly. That's a hidden cause of failure. So changing your infusion set is generally the number one thing to do if you use an insulin pump and things are not going as normal. Change the infusion set, just in case it's an issue with your infusion set, your diabetes tech, your insulin pump. The other thing is make sure you are rotating your sites. Do not use the same area of skin over and over again for your insulin injections or your insulin set or your infusion set. I saw a video, I was going to show you this video, but I can't find it now, but there was a woman here who was a diabetes educator, and she had a client, and the client needed like 1/2 the amount of insulin they usually need because they started rotating their sites. So what happens is you can get an area of your skin that has poor absorption if you keep using the same location in your body. So definitely rotate. Every time you change your infusion set, place your next infusion set at least a couple of inches away from where it was. And if you do injections, don't do the same place all the time. You probably have a favorite place, experiment and try other places. There's a whole bunch of places where you can do insulin injections on your body. And then also make sure that your sensor is working right. If you use a CGM, there was a Freestyle Libre 3 recall recently. If you think you need more insulin because it shows that you are high all of the time, make sure that that CGM sensor is working correctly. Do a finger prick and check your blood sugar just to make sure. Okay, so you've ruled out that it's a insulin tech issue, your insulin pump or your insulin injections, everything's good there. Okay, number two, just make sure that the insulin isn't bad. Bad insulin is really kind of rare, but if the insulin got exposed to extreme temperatures, it's possible. So try a new insulin vial if you think that could possibly be it. Look at your insulin, make sure it's not expired. Hold it up to the light, give it a little bit of shake, and look and see, do you see any cloudy particles? If there's cloudy particles in your insulin, if it's discolored, that insulin is bad. Okay, so number one, is your diabetes tech okay? Hopefully, yes. Two, is your insulin okay? Yes, your insulin's okay. You verified it. You've tried another insulin vial. You're still needing a lot more insulin. Okay, what could it be? Okay, let's talk about the reasons why, the things about your body and your life that could be causing you to need more insulin. Third reason is it could be that your diabetes is progressing. I'm going to be referencing these books here about pumping insulin. They have so much good information. I highly recommend it. Get the latest edition, the 7th edition of Pumping Insulin. It has everything you need to know for day-to-day pumping insulin, and also just compares different kinds of insulin pumps. I pulled out some charts here to help with this discussion. So there's actually a graph in the 6th edition here about things that impact your total daily dosage requirements for insulin. And it points out that somebody who has just started on insulin, a new start person, somebody who has just gotten type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, often needs less insulin than somebody who's had diabetes for many years. And this also applies to LADA diabetes, latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. It's very common in type 1 diabetes, autoimmune diabetes, and even type 2 diabetes to have a progression where insulin needs change over time. And the honeymoon period is what they call it, usually early on, where you only need a little bit of insulin. And it is normal, unfortunately, for you to need more insulin as the condition progresses. So this your need for more insulin could be a totally normal, expected thing for how your type of diabetes is progressing. It follows a typical course. So in the human body, there's only one place in your whole body that makes insulin. It's in your pancreas. There's little islands of cells, the islets of Langerhans. And these little islands contain beta cells. And these beta cells in autoimmune types of diabetes, these beta cells, your immune system attacks these beta cells and they stop working, but it doesn't happen overnight or all at once. So when you start on insulin, your body actually still might be making some insulin, but not enough insulin. So you're giving yourself external insulin injections or insulin pump. The combination of the insulin that your body is already making plus the external insulin that you're giving yourself is working out correctly. But over time, as that autoimmune condition progresses, then you may start making less insulin. And this can be measured with the C-peptide blood test, which tells you about how much insulin your body is making. And if your body starts making less insulin, then yes, you will need more insulin. And this is a normal thing. It can be something that isn't, it's disappointing, right? Because you really don't want to be thinking about this thing that your condition's progressing, but such is life with diabetes. And I say that because type 1 diabetes and LADA diabetes is a condition, an autoimmune condition that actually they're finding that the signals there, the signs of that autoimmune condition starting up are detectable at a very young age, many years before you actually get diabetes. So it's a genetic, as well as probably some environmental components, but it's a genetic condition that you don't really have anything you can do about it. What you can do is decide how you're going to respond to it, and that you are going to do your very best and take care of yourself. And if you are conscientious and responsible and you learn and you are very careful and you make changes and you adapt and you take care of yourself, that yes, it's really, you don't have to be suffering. I don't like when they say, oh, you're suffering with diabetes. No, I'm happy. I'm doing great. Okay. Yes, I have diabetes. It's a pain in the butt. But anyway, so yeah, the third reason why you might need more insulin is your diabetes is progressing. Number 4 reason is that you might be sick. You could be sick with anything from like a bad cold to COVID, flu. Any kind of sickness or infection may increase your needs for insulin. My insulin pump trainer said to me, actually, she said, oh, if you start needing more insulin, you might have a urinary tract infection. That was her suggestion there, that that could be the reason why. Any kind of infection or sickness can increase your need for insulin. It's not uncommon at all. And it's also something that is an insight that I've had. Oh, I need more insulin. Oh, I don't feel well. And I don't even have to have a fever. I might just have a cold, right? Anything. It doesn't have to be that big of a sickness to make a difference in insulin needs. And you can understand this because your body is fighting off an infection. And if you don't feel sick, then there might be a hidden infection or maybe an early infection that's just starting that you are not yet aware of. So a bad cold, coronavirus, COVID, flu, an infection anywhere in your body. It could be inflamed gums if you have a gum infection in your mouth, sinus infection if you feel a lot of pressure in your sinuses, if you have a headache, if you have a stomach virus, stomach flu, urinary tract infection, any kind of infection or illness can cause you to need more insulin. If you are sick and you're not able to get your blood sugar under control, definitely talk to a doctor. I am not a doctor. I am just talking from the perspective of somebody who has diabetes and uses an insulin pump. And this is not medical advice. This is educational information only. Okay, so number 5 reason is that you could be stressed. Yes, stress causes insulin resistance, reduces insulin sensitivity. When you are stressed, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released, and that increases insulin resistance. And this is a remarkable thing because having diabetes itself can cause a lot of stress. So part of treating diabetes is actually learning how to reduce your stress levels, which reducing your stress levels is great for general health and it will help your diabetes. It is a lot harder to manage your diabetes when you're under all that stress. Now, the stress could be even good stress, like maybe your job interviews, you're doing job interviews, or I have a new boyfriend, girlfriend, you're on a date or something like that, or public speaking. There's a lot of things that people enjoy and that people do, they want to do, but it can still cause stress. And that stress can raise your blood sugar and make you require more insulin. And then there's all the negative stress too, like relationship problems or a family emergency or an emergency at work. Something urgent comes up, makes you extremely stressed out. And then on top of that stress, if you're having trouble sleeping and you're sleep deprived, having insomnia, that too can cause really upset your balance and stuff. And I mean, upset your normal insulin management, blood sugar management. And not sleeping will cause you to need more insulin as well. Okay, number 6 thing is DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis. This is a life-threatening condition. Most commonly, it's when your blood sugar is very high, although it is possible also to get it when you have relatively normal blood sugar. If you have very high blood sugar, you should check for ketones. You can get a blood ketone meter, see if you have ketones. If you have ketones, it's a medical emergency. You need to go see a doctor. Symptoms of ketoacidosis: unexplained high blood sugar reading, nausea, abdominal pain, flu-like symptoms, increased thirst and dry mouth, excessive urination, increased hunger, excessive tiredness or weakness, confusion, an acetone or fruity odor in your breath, vomiting, severe abdominal pain, rapid breathing, shortness of breath, unconsciousness. So diabetic ketoacidosis, it's really good to know about it. DKA, it's a life-threatening condition. Take it very seriously if you have high blood sugar that is not going down, because it can cause DKA. And if you have DKA, then yes, you will need more insulin. And there's a lot of information in this Pumping Insulin book about treating DKA. I highly recommend, though, seeing a doctor quickly, urgently, if you think you might have DKA. Okay, number 7 reason is change in your activity levels. So if you are usually a fairly active person doing a lot of things, and it doesn't mean going to the gym. I mean, yes, going to the gym, but even if you're just active, like around the house, doing cleaning or chores, cooking, doing gardening, going shopping, walking around a lot, taking care of your kids. If you were usually an active person, but for some reason that activity level has diminished and you are laying around on the couch more, or just sitting at the computer all day, maybe you used to be you're out and about and you got a new job that's in front of the computer and you're just not moving around. The change in activity levels can have an impact in the amount of insulin that you need. And this is because when any kind of activity, your muscles use a lot of energy and it uses that insulin. So it's remarkable actually. The insulin pumping book has this table showing you how many carbohydrates do you need per hour for each kind of activity. So for example, snow shoveling. If you are snow shoveling and you weigh 150 pounds, oh, look at that. I got a high alert. I can tell. Alert on high, 252 milligrams per deciliter. Oh, that's not good. So although it's not going up still, and I did insulin boluses, so I think it'll go back down. Maybe I'm feeling some stress from doing this video, but actually I just know that I ate a big sandwich and I probably didn't give myself enough insulin. And also I want to go take a walk, which maybe I should go do. Speaking of exercise, so shoveling snow. You might have to shovel snow. If you do that for 1 hour and you weigh 150 pounds, you will need about 45 carbohydrates to fuel that activity so you don't go low. Or another way of saying this or adjusting for this is that you can dose less insulin for the previous meal. Like if you ate 80 carbs, at lunch, only dose insulin for about 40 carbs. And then that difference will give you enough glucose to do that snow shoveling. And I say snow shoveling because this is the time of year for having to shovel snow. And probably that's causing a whole bunch of people to actually get low blood sugar because they don't usually shovel snow and now they got to really do a lot of exercise. Walking 3 miles per hour. If you weigh 150 pounds, 22 carbs for a 1 hour walk at 3 miles per hour. The more strenuous activity, the longer it is, the more glucose it uses up, and hence you need less insulin. So a change in activity levels is going to affect blood sugar. Okay, number 8. We're on number 8 of 10 possible reasons for why your blood sugar is high, why you might need more insulin. Number 8 reason is, this is for women only, people with a menstrual cycle, is the menstrual cycle. Yes, you can fast forward if you're a guy, don't have a menstrual cycle, this isn't for you. The hormone fluctuations during a woman's menstrual cycle are so big. Progesterone goes way up during the second half of the menstrual cycle, and this causes more insulin resistance. And I often find that it's way easier to manage my blood sugar during the first week of my menstrual cycle than during the last week. So I have another video on YouTube all about this. You're not crazy if every single month you get these huge fluctuations in insulin needs. But I mention this because if you were not aware of it, if you're new to diabetes or this is just something that has never happened to you before, I want you to know this is totally normal. I recommend that you record your menstrual cycle. I use the Clue app. It's a great app, but any kind of way to record what day in your cycle it is and try to see what are your personal trends. Not everybody's the same, but what are your trends? And then that might give you a sign, oh, I need more insulin because I'm going to get my period soon. Or, I'm going low because it's this time of the month. Number 9 reason is steroid medications. If you're taking any steroidal medications like prednisone, hydrocortisone, steroids are given for lots of different reasons, for rashes, inflammatory bowel disease, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, allergies, Addison's disease. So steroids cause you to need a lot more insulin. And then really that should be expanded into medications in general. Did you start on a new medication? If you started on a new medication and you're seeing a change in your insulin needs, there is a possibility of a connection. It would be good to research it and talk to your pharmacist and your doctor as to see, is there a connection here? And if there is, what should I do? Should I continue on that medication and require more insulin, or is there some other option for me? Okay, number 10 reason is, I'm grouping together weight age, and diet changes as for reasons that you might need more insulin. Okay, diet. We all know that eating carbohydrates, more carbohydrates requires more insulin, but there's more to it than just that. If your diet is made up of a lot of carbohydrates and saturated fats, generally more unhealthy diet, eating foods that aren't good for your health, that can actually cause inflammation, which then can cause you to require more insulin. So that's another way that diet really has an impact. So having a really good diet, trying to eat lots of vegetables and have food that has protein in it, and not saturated fats, things that are good for your health, a varied diet with a lot of, if you have carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, don't have processed foods. So diet has a big impact, and weight, as you weigh more, you will need more insulin because of the fat cells cause insulin resistance. So how much insulin you need does correspond with weight. And then age is the other thing. You go through different life phases. If you are a child or an adolescent, you might go through growth spurts. Those growth hormones can cause a need for more insulin. And as you age, there might be times when you need more insulin as well because of your age. So weight, age, diet, and then I already mentioned before, activity. There are so many factors here, so many things interconnected. So there's a lot of reasons why you might need more insulin, but what can you do about it? Oh, I need more insulin, so I keep going high all of the time. Well, that really is not, that's not the answer. The answer is to figure out how to give yourself the amount of insulin that you need so that you keep your blood sugar in range as much as possible, because that will encourage better health, long-term health, and also helps with your day-to-day health as well. So many things. It can help with your mood. So what do you do? How do you do that? It can be a problem. And obviously the first thing is to try to fix the root cause if you know what the root cause is. For example, if you are stressed out and not sleeping well, then focus on how to reduce that stress and sleep well, get more sleep. That is fixing the root cause. So relaxation techniques, and I have another video about relaxation techniques. There's so many different ways that you can try to lower that stress and relax. And then, like, if the root cause is you're sick, well, you need to heal up, right? You need to get better. So if you're sick, sometimes that means you need to drink lots of fluids and rest up, right? Get some rest, fluids, feel better. It takes time to feel better, but while you're sick, you need to get the right amount of insulin, because you will be able to heal up better if you have that right amount of blood sugar. If you have high blood sugar, that will make it harder for you to heal up. If you don't know what the root cause is, see a doctor and see if they can help you figure it out. If you are being less active because of something, try to put exercise back in your life. Some things, though, you can't change, like, I need more insulin because my diabetes got worse because I'm out of the honeymoon period. Or, I need more insulin because, I'm older now. I got older. Well, what's the alternative to getting older, right? We don't want that, right? So getting older is a good thing. Yay, happy birthday. I'm glad that you're getting older. Yes, as a consequence, you need more insulin. It happens. Everybody, whether you have diabetes or not, need insulin. It's just that most people's bodies make the right amount of insulin, and so they're not aware that, their body is requiring more insulin because they're not aware of it. But because you have diabetes, your body, you see exactly what's going on, and you have a CGM. But what happens because you keep going high? And how do I get my blood sugar in range? And that is something that takes a lot of work and practice, but you add knowledge and also working with your doctor too to adjust your insulin levels. You have to remember that a small change in insulin dosage can have a big impact. So you want to make small changes with the help of your doctor or your diabetes healthcare team. As far as learning how to manage your blood sugar, Sugar Surfing, great book. I will link to it in the description. Sugar Surfing, And the thing is with me and maybe you too, but with me, I use an insulin pump that does a lot of automation. I use the Medtronic MiniMed 780G insulin pump, and it has a smart guard mode, which is really a great mode because it will automatically adjust insulin for me and it will prevent me from going low. The problem is that it is a safety feature. It has a safety feature on it, and it does not want to give me too much more insulin than what I needed like yesterday or the day before. So it based insulin needs on the last few days. And if all of a sudden I need more insulin, then the pump's auto mode, the smart guard mode, may not give me enough insulin. And so what I do is I exit out of the smart guard mode, and then the insulin pump gives me the insulin rates that are programmed into it. Either it's pre-programmed, well, I programmed it in, or usually you or your doctor will program in the basal rate and also the other settings in your insulin pump, like the carb ratio, how much insulin for how many grams of carbs. And in a manual mode, it uses those settings. And then with you learning how to sugar surf, you can, in manual mode, get your blood sugar into a good range, even if you need more insulin. Yes, you can. The thing is talking to your doctor, your healthcare team, and working with them to adjust the amount of insulin you need. And you need to have frequent adjustments until you get it right. And then you need to change it if you end up going low or high too much. And your doctor needs to work with you to get that insulin dosage correct. It's not going to be good if it's like, okay, you set the information, the doctor doesn't look at it for 3 months. 3 months is too long. You need frequent small adjustments in order to get the basal rate correct. And if you read this book, Pumping Insulin, it will tell you everything you need to know about how to do this. It goes into a great detail about how to alter your rates to improve your rates and stay in range more. And this is an invaluable skill. So remember, your body needs more insulin. Give yourself the insulin it needs. That's the right thing to do. But work with your doctor on it and become very knowledgeable about, if you're using an insulin pump, how that insulin pump works. So to recap, there's at least 10 things that could cause you to need more insulin. 1, an issue with your diabetes tech. 2, bad insulin. 3, your diabetes progressing. 4, you're sick. 5, you're stressed. 6, you have DKA. 7, a change in your activity levels. 8, your menstrual cycle. 9, steroid medications or any new medication potentially. And 10, weight, age, and diet. Here is the table from Pumping Insulin. I really love the insight this table provides. People often say, well, how much insulin do I need? Well, how much insulin do you need is a big variable, right? So this shows you approximate amount of total daily dosage of insulin for people, adjusted for things like fitness, puberty, pregnancy. Oh, pregnancy, I didn't name that. So that's number 11 reason why you might have a difference in insulin needs. So depending on your weight, your activity, your type of diabetes, and your physical and mental health, stress or infection, things like that, all of those things affect your insulin needs. And throughout your life, your insulin needs will change. It's a given fact. It's not going to stay steady. And it can really be like, oh my, why, what's going on? When you go from like everything is going great to, oh, insulin is like water. So that is a diabetes stress, very common. My name is Linnea May Huxford. This is my book, Success with LADA Diabetes, working on the 2nd edition. Please subscribe and share if you know anybody who could benefit from this. Thank you very much. Well, I just got back from taking a walk. My blood sugar went up over 300. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I just have really odd insulin needs is what I could say. So That's what inspired me to list the 10 different things that could cause you to need more insulin. And then while I was out walking to try to lower my blood sugar, I thought of a number 11 reason. Number 11 is that you could have air in your tubing, in your insulin tubing. If you have any air in there, air bubbles, then you won't be getting as much insulin as you think you're giving yourself. Check that insulin tubing. This happened to me once after flying. My blood sugar went high, and it was because of the pressure changes while flying that caused air to go in my tubing. Yeah, so there are so many possible reasons why. Who knows? But I liken this to cruise control in a car. If you use an insulin pump and you use an auto mode, Smart Guard or some other form of auto mode, automation where the insulin pump decides how much insulin you need, that's like being on cruise control. It's wonderful. You can just sit back and enjoy the ride. But sometimes the situation gets hairy. The weather gets terrible. The traffic gets horrendous. There's potholes in the road. You need to take it out of cruise control. And for me, what I have found is switching it into manual mode, and then sugar surfing is like taking it out of cruise control. I take control and I give myself the insulin that I need. And it takes a lot of practice and trial and error and learning and discipline to try to figure it out. But it is doable. Cruise control auto mode is great when it's a good day, but sometimes there's challenging days because diabetes is a pain in the butt. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and a like, and if you can write a comment, it really helps to have people find this video. And I'm trying to advocate for diabetes. I was misdiagnosed as type 2 diabetes. I really had type 1 diabetes, and it's been quite the journey. Thank you.